Hi, Christina. I just watched Promising Young Women. Yeah, really sad. This is not really gonna be kind of like a funny video. It's gonna be a pretty serious video. Kind of talking about my thoughts and how I am a problem. So first of all, let me talk about the movie Promising Young Woman. It's about a woman who's getting revenge. More importantly, it indirectly targets the way we justify hard spots. How when things get so scary, how when it affects someone you love, how you can forget about the other. To focus on your question, Christina, on what can I do better, I wanted to bring this up into two parts. So the first part is, what can we do to be proactive? So logically, I kind of broke them into three kind of things. One is kind of rules, regulations, structures in place that will prevent this kind of behavior. So maybe you have a designated guy at a party that if someone gets too drunk, that you can say, hey, go to this guy and they'll send you home. Secondly, I thought, what about the cultural norms and preconceptions and ideas that we can fix? The idea behind, well, why ruin two lives when you've already ruined one? Why can't you just forgive and move on? There is a sympathy towards people who are not brave enough to accept fault. That sympathy is corely related to our own inability to accept our own faults and accept our own punishments and retributions, not wanting others to hold us to such a high standard. So there's a story of one lunch recess or whatever, we did something wrong. So there was this wall on recess, and if we did something wrong, we had to stand and face out in recess, and we couldn't play. We just had to watch everyone else play. And he stood us all on the wall, far enough away from each other so we couldn't hear each other. And all he did was he'd ask us, and he said, hey, did you leave a mess and not clean it up? And basically, if you said, yes, I did leave a mess, you acknowledged your fault, you were allowed to go play. And if you said no and you denied it, you had to stay. But I think the thing that really changes is the consequences. It's the emotional turmoil of, I don't want to be in trouble. I don't want to feel this wrath, feeling your shame and you fucked up, and they're asking you whether you're willing to acknowledge it. And sometimes you might not have had the strength to acknowledge it at that time. But to live in a society that always encourages that bravery and to face your punishments, it's important. Yes, you might ruin everything. Did you ever think about the people's lives you ruined? It's easy to think from one side. To forget that the person on the other side of someone you know and loves crimes is someone who is loved and known by others. It's so easy to forget that. So the third thing that we kind of talked about was mind pattern. What if, imagine there's a camera on you, and if someone recorded that, how would you react? And sent it to your parents, to people you knew, to your future job employer, how would you react? Not only for the fear of punishment, but for the acknowledgement of what you're doing is wrong. And then in the moment be like, well, I didn't know anyone was filming. So the second part of this video was the personal acknowledgement. And I almost didn't want to put this part in the video because I'm afraid of the consequences. Okay, so this is gonna be a spoiler part of the movie. So if you haven't watched the movie yet, don't watch this part. So Ryan in the movie, when presented with what he did wrong, during that scene, I was just thinking, what is the right thing to do? The only right thing to do is say, hey, I fucked up. If you want to publish that video, publish that video. I know what I did wrong. That is me doing something wrong. I did do that. If that ruins my life, then that ruins my life because I'm a part of someone ruining her life. Some people be like, that's stupid. You have to look out for yourself. But I don't think so. I think we're just all sometimes afraid to be brave to admit when we really fucked up and it's something that's real that could fuck with our future. So I'm gonna do something like that. I'm gonna tell a story about the worst thing I've done or been a part of. And this is a story not everyone knows about me. Christina, you don't know the story about me. I don't think my mother does, and I think most of my friends don't. Right now, if this stops me from getting a job, that's what the punishment is, and I'll deserve it. I don't want, when I'm older, when I'm less brave, that someone confronts me about this and asks me, that I deny it. That I become part of a system that is okay with zero accountability. Okay, so when I was in high school, 15 or 16, there was this thing. There's circulations of pictures that girls sent to other guys in their underwear and whatnot. I never received one personally. I never distributed one to someone who didn't have it, but I did have it. I did laugh. When things went down, I did get in trouble. And when I got in trouble, I was afraid and angry at the people who got me caught. I didn't feel that bad because the thing that we didn't think about were the conversations, the moments between a parent and a daughter, a sister, or a girl and her friends. How that must have felt to know if you were a parent that someone had an inappropriate picture of your daughter and there was someone just laughing about it. What would you want to do to them? Or if that was your friend, or how would it feel to be that girl and feel that shame for something that you didn't want, didn't do wrong? You don't think about those things. To everyone involved, to the parents, to the siblings, to the friends, to the girl specifically, I'm so sorry. I'm really sorry. I truly can't imagine what that must have felt like. I don't know what else to say other than I'm in full acknowledgement of what kind of person that makes me. I want to be better. I think about all the moments when people are sitting in their homes thinking about what they did 20 years ago, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, and they want to admit it, but they're afraid. That at least at this moment right now, I had the courage to admit something I did wrong. Well, that's my video. I have to go edit it. This is a 30-minute recording. Anybody who wants to talk to me about what happened, just let me know. I highly recommend watching Promising Young Woman. It was really good. All right, bye-bye.